So you standing by my side, set the sparkle in my life.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I'm really sorry that I'm looking over in this direction. I'm recording on my iPad, so it's kind of a bit confusing. So today's video is basically a long awaited video on how what am I talking about? I'm literally so tired today. I've been up since 6 in the morning, but basically today's video is going to be about how to transition into being a full-time artist. So it's not going to be a long video, but it's basically just, let me count, I've put together 9 tips and just suggestions of things that you can think about to help you basically transition into becoming a full-time artist. So the first tip is to try and create a really strong online presence. So what you want to do is maybe join as many social networks as you can, set up an Instagram, a Facebook, a Tumblr account, just so you can reach as many people and share as much of your art as you can. So what you want to do is make those social networks, and you want to just try and build up your following as much as you can. So as well, the second tip is, what you want to do is, when you've built your social media accounts, you really, before leaving any kind of job or any stability that you have, I think it is so important to build up your following, because those are the people that are going to be purchasing your work and making it possible for you to transition from having your job, your 9 to 5, into being an artist, which is obviously what you want. So it's so important to build up those followers, and also to make sure that you can sell some work first. So try your absolute best to sell some pieces first, just to make sure that you can sell and that you can generate some interest in your pieces, basically. So before leaving your job, just try to build up that following and see if you can make some sales. So those are the 2 first main things. So the third thing, which is kind of not really that important, but I think it's a good thing to think about, is thinking about a name that you want to use. So obviously you can just use your name, so you can use your whole name, but I think it's also good to maybe think about a name that you can use. For example, I use my name, which is Olivia Rose, so Rose is my middle name, but then I also use Lala's Dream Box, and that's just kind of a really easy thing to remember, that is easy to type and that people can basically just find quite quickly. So when you're thinking of a name, think about something that people will remember. So not something really complicated that if someone's trying to remember it, to tell someone they can't remember the name that you've given them. So try to think of a name that is easy to remember. Obviously you can use your first name. Obviously this isn't really an important thing, but I think sometimes having a good name or just using something that is memorable can really help people find your work again. Or if they want to share it with their friends, it can help them remember the name to then tell their friends. So yes. So I'm also really sorry if this video is really confused, and if I sound confused, because I'm literally just reeling off ideas here. So number 4 is to remember that followers don't always come easy. So for some people, followers will come so easy. They will set up their Instagram account, and within a month they will have thousands and thousands of followers. But the reality of it is that does not always happen. So it doesn't always work like that. So basically this point is, don't be disheartened if it takes you a while to build up your followers, because that is a completely normal thing. It's not always going to be easy to get a lot of followers. And also, it's not always about having a lot of followers, it's about having followers that are interested in what you do and who are willing to purchase your work and who enjoy what you are posting. So yes. Number 5, and I personally think this is the most important step, is make sure you create your online shop. So for me personally, the 2 online shops that I really like are Bigcartel and Etsy. At the moment I'm using Bigcartel, and the way that Bigcartel works is that you do pay a monthly fee. So I think I'm paying £9 a month, which honestly is kind of expensive, but if you are generating those sales, it's not too bad. So Bigcartel is really good. And one of the things sorry guys, my my iPad ran out of memory. So what I was saying was, one of the things that I love about Bigcartel is that you can completely customize your layout, so you can like change how your shop looks, which is, I personally think, which is so important, because then you can kind of put your own stamp and your own like image on your shop. So that's one of the things that I really like about Bigcartel, is that you can edit your shop layout and you can like really customize it and make it look exactly how you like. With Etsy, one of the really good things about Etsy, I think, is the fact that it's like a community website, so people can just kind of like find your work by chance just by browsing, which is like really good, because it can mean that you find like new customers, like new collectors, like and people that will be interested in your work that you wouldn't actually find using Bigcartel, because with Bigcartel it's not a community website, so people can't just randomly find you. You do have to share your link to your shop. So that is one thing to bear in mind with Bigcartel. Another tip that I would say is, if you are trying to get followers and people interested in your work and you're finding it a bit hard, is try to submit your work to online magazines and also Instagram magazines. And I find that this really helps, because it basically allows people to, obviously, like, Instagram magazines will have a lot of followers, so it will then give you the chance to have your work seen by a lot of people, which I think is really helpful. And I think it's so cool that like bigger magazines can do that, like they can help smaller artists be seen and get exposure. So that's one thing to think about. I'll try and leave like down below, I'll try and write down some magazines, but obviously the main one is Beautiful Bazaar. Like, everybody wants to be in that magazine, so I think it is so important to submit your work to magazines and like online magazines, just so you can get that exposure and just kind of like that boost that you really need to get like your first customers or like people interested in your work. Number 7, now this point is embarrassing because I know that I don't do this, but I honestly think that this helps. But number 7 is being consistent. So I think if you're consistent with your posting, like in your content, like you're creating new pieces every day, like I really think that that helps so much, because I've seen people that like have been stuck on maybe like 10,000 followers do things like Inktober, or like just like little art challenges where you have to draw a piece every day, and their followers have like shot up like so fast. Like, I think consistently posting is like, it just generates more interest generally, like for your work, which I think is really important, even though I am completely inconsistent, but I have an excuse. So So number 8, the 8th point is, if you're really interested in making prints but you don't have the capacity, or you just don't have the time to do it at home, there are websites that can help with that. So obviously there's Society6 and Redbubble, and both of these websites are really cool, because all you do is you upload your image to the website, and they basically just take care of all the rest. So they can organize printing, so people can purchase prints, they can get like mugs, they can get notebooks, so like they can get all the really cute things, they can get t-shirts. And basically websites like this, I think they are really cool, because if you don't have the time to do your own printing or make your own t-shirts and stuff, this really helps. So Society6 and Redbubble are really good for that. One of the things that I will say though about Society6 and Redbubble is, in order to actually make a solid income, which to be honest even I find it hard on Society6 and Redbubble, you do have to generate a lot of sales, because they do take a massive percentage. So if you sell something for £10, maybe you'll only get £2 of that. You can actually edit the amount of money that you get in your settings, but yeah, it just then makes the price extortionate, so it's just a bit like So I would recommend investing in a printer if you can. Number 9, this is kind of like the last tip, is really have a think about of like how you want to present yourself as an artist. So like really think hard about like how you want to photograph your work, like what kind of image you want to put forward with your work. So like for example, in the collective that I'm in, there's this girl called Olivia, and she takes the most beautiful photos of her work. Like, they are so pretty. Like, she gets flowers and like really cute little things, and she like puts them around her drawings and then photographs them, and it looks so nice. And she does that like throughout her feed, so her feed is like really consistent. Like, it looks really pretty. And I think thinking about stuff like that is really important, because that's obviously the first thing with Instagram anyway. That's obviously the first thing that people are going to see, is like the color scheme and kind of like the way that you've laid out your page. So I think things like that are really important. And lastly, that is basically all the tips. But lastly, I just want to say, like, if you are thinking of transitioning into becoming a full-time artist, like, do try really hard to just kind of like make sure you can sell and like build up your followers, because what you don't want to do is just leave your stability and then just be stuck, like, and have no like backup plan. Like, I think it is really important to make sure that you don't get rid of any stable jobs or anything before you have generated some kind of income from your art. Like, I think that is so important, because to be honest, it can be really hard. Like, I've been doing it for years, and you know, it's not stable. Like, there are months when you can do really well, like you can sell loads of originals and it'll be really great, blah blah, and then there'll be like other months where you're just like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, so it can be really up and down. So I will just say, like, it's not like easy, but again, for some people it is easy, and like they do just sell their work like straight away. Like, every time they post something, it's like sold out all the time. So it's just something to think about before leaving any kind of stability, that it can be hard. But all I will say is persevere. Like, do not give up. Like, consistency, perseverance. Like, don't be disheartened if you find it hard to get followers, because again, it's not about followers, it's about people that are willing to buy your work. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I really hope you guys found this video helpful. Obviously, I know that I probably haven't answered all the questions that you guys have, but if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.